So it is my true honor to introduce our next guest speaker. Our next guest speaker, through his art, both poetry, playwriting, and acting, really embodies and inspires me personally that our past does not define our future. So with that, I would love to give a warm introduction to Hiroshi Kashiwagi.
I dedicate this presentation to the memory of Aiko Herzog Yoshinaga. In 1981, I testified before the 9-member Commission on Wartime Relocation and Internment of Civilians. The hearing was held at Golden Gate University in San Francisco. The commission hearings were preliminary to the passage of the Civil Liberties Act of 1988. Following is a shortened version of my testimony. Mr. Chairman and honorable members of the Commission, I will confine my testimony to the loyalty registration at Tule Lake. Despite the threats from the administration and pressure within the camp, I resisted the order to register, and as a consequence, I was declared, quote, disloyal and incarcerated at Tule Lake Segregation Center, a maximum security prison, a psychologically abnormal, unhealthy place. But the threats by the administration, we were warned that the failure to register was a violation of the Espionage Act and subject to 20 years in prison or a $10,000 fine or both. Can you imagine the confusion and turmoil? What to do? We had no recourse to legal counsel. When the war ended and we were finally released, we tried to slip back into normal society as unobtrusively as possible, trying to hide the fact that we had been confined at Tule Lake. But after 35 years, can you imagine my chagrin, my dismay, my disbelief, my frustration, and lastly, my anger when I learned that the War Department had determined that the registration and the answering of the loyalty questionnaire were not compulsory, that the threats of severe penalties for non-compliance had been a mistake and unwarranted. But the administration at Tule Lake never revealed this to us. The poorly administered registration had been the cause of much trouble, and the administration, in order to save face, never told us the truth. We had been fooled and had been detained without cause and unjustly treated as an outcast. I had been betrayed by my own government all those years, thinking I had done wrong. At least I am thankful for this opportunity to unburden myself. Members of the Commission, if you represent America, then take back this burden of guilt. As for restitution, I will not accept rhetoric. Only legal, tangible payment will be a meaningful apology. Finally, I say to you, unburden yourself, America. Now, fast forward to today. Through the years, Japanese Americans have said this injustice must never happen again. But unbelievably, it is back with a vengeance. A weak president, the most charitable description, has brought our democracy to the brink. Racism, hate, division, corruption are everywhere. As a consequence, people have suffered, especially those who have sought asylum, whose families have been torn apart, and children placed in temporary quarters. Sounds familiar? What can we do? We must end this nightmare, elect new leaders, leaders with integrity and humanity. Meanwhile, I will continue to support ACLU in their humane effort to assist the affected families. Thank you.